comments, and subscribe.
Plans for the weekend?
Plans for the weekend? I don't know. Lost 8 pounds. Look, I lost 8 pounds. And I didn't put it back on either.
Sammy wants to know about your job.
Oh, it's a training program where I get paid while I'm training. It's maintenance. They give me $16.50 an hour to train in maintenance. I'm still looking for a job in a restaurant, but this job I got temporarily until I get the job in the restaurant. And this job pays $16.50 an hour, which is after taxes. That's $1,000 a month after taxes. It's not a lot of money, but it's better than what I'm getting so far. And I'm not stopping there. After that, I'm going to get a job in a restaurant. I could train with them and get a job in maintenance and then get a good job in maintenance, but I'd rather just work in a restaurant and get better tips.
So, do they take your housing money too, or you get $1,000 plus your housing's taken care of?
My house is taken care of, and up until now, I was getting $28 a month. Now I'm getting $230 something a month, and then you add the job to it. That's another $1,000 a month.
So they pay your housing.
They pay my housing. They give me money.
Plus you get $230 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Plus
I get the $1,000, and the $1,000, and I get. I'm going to be getting food stamps. They're going to be giving me EBT, which they're going to be giving me a lot more in EBT because my case manager's working on that.
You might be able to make this work, Sir Doyle. If I can rent this place out, that's enough for you to live here.
Really?
All that?
Yeah.
Pay for the housing. I'm your payee.
Yeah.
You get $1,000 a month. That goes to rent. You got food stamps, and you got $230 a month.
Yeah.
You're fucking rolling in it, bro.
And that's just the beginning. I get a job in a restaurant and make even more money. A lot more money. I get a job in a restaurant and I make real money.
Alright, do me a favor, sit here.
Okay.
Just don't watch out for don't slide your feet because you might get a giant splinter.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be getting 2 or 3 or 400 a day in tips. That's a good job, right? Like 700 a week in salary and then 400 or 500 a day in tips. That's a lot of money. I got new insurance, so along with my EBT, I also got a card that's of $150, $200 for food on a food card. That get my new insurance. I got a new insurance called, what's it called again?
I'm coming right back.
Called United Healthcare. My new insurance is called United Healthcare. You might want to look into that, United Healthcare. It's good. It's real good insurance.
Yeah.
United Healthcare, look into it.
I'm on Fidelis right now.
Oh, Fidelis is good too. Fidelis is good too. But United Healthcare was a save. You didn't have Fidelis. United Healthcare was good. Real good. I should have gone for AARP. That would have given me real good benefits.
Like what?
I don't know, but AARP is for people that are older. They give you more benefits. But you could get AARP. You're in your 40s. You are 40s and up. 40 something and up, you can get AARP. Oh yeah, you know what I want you to do, Lukey?
Yeah.
I want you to send that out. I want to send out that to the district attorney's office about my brother and those people in the hospital stole from me. They said that if I looked them up on the internet and then sent them something also in the mail that that I would
I don't need to know the whole story. Listen to this.
Hey there, Lukey, it's Karen. I just was checking to see about that book, if you got any more news on it. We got snowed under here with a foot of snow. We've been like locked in this valley for like a week. Anyway,
how you doing?
I did talk to Richard Doyle, and he does have a good value system. However, his ego is like, I don't know, it's like he thinks he's Arthur Conan Doyle, you know, he's got to solve all the crimes in the world and everybody's guilty but him. Anyway, that's how it looks to me. And I just thought I'd check on that book. So if you have time and you feel like it, you can call me back. Thanks.
Didn't mean to stress you on that, so. You spoke to her on the phone?
Yeah, you know what I think it is? She's got a problem with the fact that I don't want to go down there. I can't go down there because there's a lion and a bear, and I'm not going to get killed by a lion and a bear. So now I think she's like lashing out because I won't go down there. Is that us? It's us now, right?
I'm going to do something on your phone here.
Okay. I'm still fat. When I get the testosterone and I start working out in the gym, which is this month, before next month, or maybe right after next month,
Lean forward a little bit.
I'm gonna be in shape.
Lean forward with your chest. I guess sit up a little bit.
I'm gonna be in shape when I do that. I got it.
Guys, Sir Doyle on testosterone. Good thing I'm going to Maine. I can't be here for that.
I'll be in shape and everything. I'll probably be a lot more alert, a lot easier to teach because the testosterone will give me energy.
Your ego's gonna go crazy, bro. You're already out of control.
No,
Just look at what Karen said.
yeah, but she's saying that because I wouldn't. I can't. I told her I can't come down to be there to do the healing. She's got alternative motives. She's mad about that, and it's not my fault. I mean, I don't want to be attacked by a lion or a bear. Does she know I was here?
That was a voicemail, buddy.
What?
I said that was a voicemail, buddy.
Oh. I gotta get my hair styled. It's out of control. My hair's out of control. I have a hairstylist that knows what. Just show him a picture what I want. He does just like the picture. And if he can't do it just like the picture, he tells me. Sounds like a big little picture.
I did the best I could with you, Sir Doyle.
What are you talking about?
You can do what you want.
Lukey, my hair is out of control.
You just don't like long hair.
I do like long hair, but I like it styled.
You like it short.
No,
It's
I
not
don't.
gonna get
No,
long
I don't.
if you keep
I
cutting
never
it.
liked it short. I like it styled. When they get a certain length, I style it.
And what length is that? This is medium, not even medium length. You go any shorter than this, you go into short hair. You want to get long hair?
My
the
hair
front,
is very long in the front.
The front has to go down to your shoulders if you want long hair.
All right,
Where is it now?
down on my shoulders.
Your front hair is down to your shoulders?
Almost.
Almost. Okay, so you lied.
No, I was wrong.
You can't tell where your hair is.
Lying and being wrong.
You can't tell where your hair is. So you're that out of it? What color is your shirt? Is it blue?
It's gray.
You sure?
It's gray.
It might not be a shirt. It might be an owl. Because you don't know how long your hair is. You might not even know what planet we're on. Either that or you're just a liar. You just lie and then make up stories afterwards.
I don't lie.
Huh? So far you told me one lie and then you tried to
I didn't
pretend
tell no
like
lie.
you tried to pretend like you
I
don't
was
even
wrong.
know you don't even know how long your hair is. It's down to your shoulders, and then I said, "Is it?" And you said, "Oh, almost." Let's ask ChatGPT. If somebody says something that they know is not true, and then they after
Someone says something they know.
You're making up scenarios. You're making up scenarios.
if somebody says something they know is not true, and then after the fact say that they if somebody says something they know isn't true, but then after the fact claim that they were wrong, that it was a mistake, but all the while they're just pretending that they didn't know
No, that's-
because
you
it
don't
was
wanna
something
say.
so obvious, and they already had this ready-made excuse in their back pocket because their whole life they just lie and then pretend after like they don't even know what the hell's going on. Would you consider that a form of lying? They just play dumb after the fact.
Yes, that's definitely a form of lying. Pretending ignorance after knowingly making a false statement is a manipulative tactic to avoid
But
accountability.
that's not what I was
It's often
doing.
referred to as feigned innocence or
That's not
plausible
what I was doing.
deniability.
It's not what I was
Even
doing.
if they don't admit it outright,
You're just saying I
they're still
lied.
being deceptive.
Word it like
because their
this.
intent was to
If a
mislead
person didn't
and then dodge
realize
responsibility
that what they
later.
were
Do you
saying
think
was
they do this as
wrong,
a habit
and then they
or to
you
get out
really
of
pointed
specific
out to them,
situations?
is that a lie? If a person doesn't realize what they're saying is wrong, and you point it out to them, and then they say they were wrong, is that a lie?
No, that wouldn't be a lie. If the person genuinely didn't realize they were wrong and admits their mistake when it's pointed out, it shows they were misinformed or made an honest error, not that they were lying. A
Yeah.
lie requires intent to deceive. It comes down to whether they knew it was wrong when they said it. Do you feel like this person is being honest when they admit their mistake?
Nah, they're definitely pretending like they're playing dumb.
No. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Well, tell me that GPT,
I get
when
it.
somebody
They're pretending
somebody
they didn't
wants to
realize they were
believe
wrong.
that they're right all the time,
Yes,
and
that's
nobody
still
else can be
lying.
right, that they're right,
Playing
and that
dumb
everybody
to
else
cover
is
their
wrong.
tracks is just
well,
another way of avoiding accountability. It sounds like they're relying on this pattern to dodge blame. Does it happen often with this person?
What
I would
about a
say so.
person that never admits that they're wrong?
What about them? What's on your mind?
Exactly. See, he's trying to push the blame onto me by saying something.
What about
that I
a
did.
person that never admits when they're wrong and always tries to pin blame on someone else?
That sounds like someone who avoids accountability at all costs. If they never admit they're wrong and always shift the blame, it's likely a defense mechanism, maybe rooted in insecurity or a fear of being seen as flawed. It's frustrating because it creates an exhausting dynamic. You end up carrying the weight of their actions while they sidestep responsibility. How do you usually handle it when they do that?
I don't know. I have a hard time handling it. Sometimes I just turn the other cheek.
That's understandable. It's tough to deal with someone like that, especially if you're trying to keep the peace. Turning the other cheek can be a way to avoid escalating conflict, but it can also leave you feeling unheard or disrespected. Do you feel like that approach works for you, or does it leave things unresolved?
No, I feel that it bottles up inside and it creates problems. If I confront the person is even more attacking with his words and doesn't give me an edge.
That's a tough spot to be in. Bottling it up feels bad, but confronting them only escalates things. It sounds like they thrive on staying in control during conflict.
Exactly.
Which makes it hard to get your point across. Maybe a calmer, more strategic approach could help, like calling out their behavior later when things cool down. Do you think they'd listen better if you approached it that way?
It doesn't stop. The abuse doesn't stop. I find it to be abusive, and it doesn't stop. No matter how I handle it, it doesn't stop.
That sounds really painful. And it's not okay for anyone to make you feel stuck in a cycle of abuse. If it truly doesn't stop, no matter what you do, it might be time to prioritize protecting yourself. Whether that means setting firmer boundaries, distancing yourself, or seeking support from someone you trust. You don't deserve to carry this on your own. Do you feel like you have anyone who can back you up in dealing with this?
I have the chat on the show. The chat is pretty supportive of the both of us and calls each one of us out when we're wrong. And going to the chat is good because they're non-biased and they're good people.
That's great to hear. Having a supportive and fair community like that can really help keep things in check. It sounds like the chat gives you a space to feel heard and validated when things get tense. Do you find their input helps ease the situation or gives you a better way to address the conflict?
It just eases the tension a little bit. It doesn't solve the conflict.
That makes sense. It helps to have a bit of relief, but it doesn't fix the deeper issue. It might be worth considering whether there's a way to make the boundaries clearer or find a more direct approach, even if the resolution isn't immediate. Do you think the person would ever respect those boundaries, or is it more about the power struggle for them?
I think it's a power struggle.
That's tough, especially if it's more about control than resolving anything. People like that often try to maintain dominance, and it can make it hard to break the cycle. Sometimes, shifting the focus away from the struggle and more onto your own needs and boundaries can help. Have you ever tried just calling out the behavior directly, even if it doesn't lead to a resolution right away?
I've called it out, and it caused a problem because when I turn the other cheek and let it go, the show goes on, and we complete our show. But if I call out the behavior, he gets on a defensive, and he wants the show to end, and he can't handle me calling out the behavior, so it affects the whole show.
That's a tough balance, trying to stand your ground without derailing the show. It sounds like you're caught between wanting to set boundaries and also not wanting to disrupt the flow or let things spiral.
Yep.
It might help to have a strategy where you address the behavior in a way that's less direct, but still firm, so it doesn't trigger that defensiveness. Do you think you could get ahead of it, maybe with a private conversation or an agreed upon understanding before the show starts, so you're not caught off guard during it?
Yeah, we do that, but it still catches you off guard regardless. Even if it doesn't catch you off guard, it's still, it's hard to deal with.
It sounds exhausting, especially when you've tried to preempt it and it still manages to catch you off guard. Even if you're prepared, dealing with someone who thrives on creating that tension is emotionally draining. Sometimes, having to constantly navigate those dynamics can feel like you're walking on eggshells.
Exactly.
You try to manage it.
Walking on eggshells,
Do you ever
exactly.
feel like stepping back for a bit from the situation? Or is that not an option?
He just comes up with these scenarios. Oh, you're lying, you blah, blah, blah. And he's stuck on it, and he doesn't let it go. And sometimes if I don't know how to do something the way he wants it done, he's like, oh, well, you're incompetent, you're retarded, most people, anybody could do this, and he gets on me. If just because I don't know how to do something as fast as...
Subject, bro. This is about you lying about the hair.
He got into a
That
bigger
sounds really
topic.
difficult.
And
It's
I
not
wasn't
fair
lying
to
about the
belittle
hair.
you,
When you're
especially
done
over
with
something
it,
like
you need something,
not knowing
you're
how
gonna
to do
let it
something
fall.
right away. It sounds like he uses these moments as opportunities to attack your competence and self-worth, which is a form of emotional abuse. It's hard enough to navigate situations when you're trying to learn or keep up without someone constantly making you feel less than. Have you thought about how you'd like to set boundaries around these attacks?
I tried.
Even if it doesn't stop his behavior entirely?
It doesn't stop. And I know he's going to say something to Chat GBD, and he's going to try to word it that like the one he first saying I was a liar and word it that way, and he's going to try to get the answer he wants. So when he goes and talks to you at Chat GBD, he's gonna make up a scenario to get the answer he wants. To get the answer he wants.
It sounds like you're anticipating him trying to twist things to fit his narrative, which can feel manipulative and frustrating.
Yeah.
If he's going to try to control the story like that, it might be a sign that he's more focused on winning a power struggle than
Exactly, it's a power struggle, and I'm not into a power struggle.
It might help
I
you
just
focus
want the
on
show to
staying
go on,
grounded
and I want us to get
be
along.
true, regardless of what he tries to spin. Would it help to clarify things directly with him in a way that's clear and concise, or do you feel like he's not open to that at all?
Well, I know he's going to come down here, and he's going to say something in a manner that's going to get.
Sir Doyle, it's a court case, all right? You don't have to tell them that I'm coming. They know. I'm going to get my turn to speak.
It seems like
Yeah, but you're going to say that I'm lying, and I'm not lying. You're just assuming that I'm lying. You're assuming, and to assume is like you make an ass out of you, not me.
Keeping a record of interactions and staying clear about your boundaries could be a form of protection.
And that to be unbiased is not by saying that I'm a liar and that you know I'm a liar when you don't know I'm a liar.
No, I'm not. I'm going to ask the chat.
It sounds like you're feeling frustrated with how the situation is unfolding. And I get why it might feel like things are being twisted. Just to clarify, I don't believe you're lying.
Well, he's going to say that.
What's going on?
He's going to say like he did last time that he knows I'm lying and know I'm lying, and that I'm all of the scenario, so to get the answer that he wants.
It seems like you're referencing transcription by a service like Casting Words. Are you considering transcribing conversations to keep a record of what's happening?
I don't know. I don't know what to do. I mean, the chat has been saying, telling me to.
Especially if there's a pattern of manipulation or distortion.
The chat
Take care.
notices what's going on, and usually I turn the other cheek. Like, I'm usually not this outspoken. Usually I just put up with it and go on. But occasionally I get a little outspoken. This is the most outspoken I've been so far.
It's good that you're speaking up about what's bothering you, even if it's not something you usually do. Sometimes when things build up, you need to let it out. I'm here to listen,
Yeah.
and it's okay to express your frustrations. You don't have to bottle it all in.
Yeah, but if I don't bottle it all the night and I express it, it's the trouble gets worse. The whole situation gets worse when I express what's going on. It gets worse.
That sounds incredibly tough. It's frustrating when speaking up only seems to make things worse, especially when you're just trying to express yourself and get some relief. It can feel like you're trapped in a cycle where
Yes,
voicing your truth
I'm trapped in a cycle.
only escalates
Yes.
the situation. Do you think there's any way to express yourself that might reduce the chance of it spiraling even just a little? Or is it really about
I
just
think
trying to
if
protect yourself
the
from the fallout
chat,
for now?
the person that's talking now could say to Lukey, wait, don't say anything,
It sounds
and
like you're
tell
trying to figure
him
out the
tell
best
him
way to address what's going on with this
to
person.
address what's going on.
Are you thinking about how to handle the situation with them? Or are you exploring what might happen if you engage with them again?
I know that if I open my mouth, it gets worse.
That's really difficult, especially when you feel like expressing yourself just leads to more conflict. It's like you're stuck in a position where silence feels safer, but it also leaves you carrying the weight. Do you think there's any way to create a little space between you and that person?
We do.
It's just temporarily.
We
to avoid
do.
the tension?
We only air once a week. We only air once a week. So we do that. Once or twice a week we
It
air.
sounds like the once a week schedule gives you some breathing room in between.
Yeah, it does. Once or twice a week.
Even though things escalate when you speak up, the time between airings might help you recharge and think through how to handle the next situation. Do you find that the space between helps you gain perspective, or does the build-up just make it harder to handle when the time comes?
The build-up makes it harder to handle.
That makes sense. The longer you hold everything in, the harder it can be when it finally comes to a head.
Yeah.
It feels like the pressure builds. And when
Hold
it
up.
does spill
Look,
over,
my chat's not working. I wonder
had a way
why.
to release some of that tension earlier.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about finding small ways to release that pressure in between airings, even if it's not directly related to the situation?
I don't know. I think that I don't know.
It sounds like you're still processing it. It's tough to find a solution when you're stuck in that kind of cycle, especially when the buildup just makes everything harder.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even small moments of self-care or a little distraction can give you some relief in the meantime. Do you
Well, I know
think
that
there's anything
we only
outside of it
air
that helps take your
once or
mind off
twice a
things,
week.
even if just for a little bit?
So,
My chat's not working. We gotta read your chat. My chat's not working.
yeah.
That must be frustrating, especially when you rely on your chat for support. Have you tried refreshing or checking if there's a technical issue with the
Well,
phone?
his chat's working, so we're
Sometimes
gonna read
logging
his.
out and back in can help too.
It's because he has an Android phone, and for some reason the YouTube that he's streaming on doesn't have a chat. But when he streams from the iPhone I gave him, he does have the chat, able to see the chat. But we're having trouble with the iPhone because it said all of a sudden his account's not active. So he's using his Android again, but he doesn't have the chat. My chat's fine. We have two different phones streaming us in the same room on two different YouTube channels.
That sounds like a tricky setup, especially with the phone issues interfering with the chat. It's good that your chat is working fine on your end, but I can see how it's frustrating for both of you, especially since the Android phone won't let him see the chat.
Yep.
Have you tried troubleshooting the iPhone account issue? Maybe
Well,
by logging out and back
I
in, or
just got a
checking the
job.
status?
I just got
You
a
might
job,
want to get that
and
sorted.
eventually I'm going to
Let's
buy
see the
another
chat.
iPhone. Buy an iPhone.
Streaming from the iPhone.
I just got a job, and eventually I'm going to buy an iPhone with some of the money.
I think a better Android would work too.
That's great news about the job.
I like an iPhone. iPhone's better.
So, do you want to hear my side of the story? And then you could give me your viewpoint that Sir Doyle wants you to give me?
Once you get the new iPhone, it should solve some of the streaming issues you're dealing with. Are you excited to get started with the job? Or is it more of a means
Yeah,
to
I'm
an end
excited.
now?
Start with the job. She went, yeah, I'm very excited to get started with the job. I'm also, after this job, I'm getting another job in the restaurant that pays good money. This job is a temp job. Until I get my job where I pays minimum wage. But the job I'm getting in the restaurant pays like $20 an hour, and it pays like $500 in tips a day. So when I get that job, it'll be much better. But the job I'm getting is better than nothing.
That sounds like a solid plan. It's great that you're excited about both the temp job and the restaurant position.
Yep,
The restaurant gig could really make a big difference financially with that hourly pay and the tips. Are you looking forward to working in the restaurant industry? Or is it more about the opportunity?
No, right, restaurant is what I want to do. I did all my life. I did restaurant work all my life.
That's awesome that you've got so much experience in the restaurant world.
Yep.
It sounds like a natural fit for you,
Yep.
especially with the pay potential there. Is there
Yeah,
a
it's
particular type of
serving.
restaurant you're hoping to work at? Or does
Ser-
it not matter as long as it's the right opportunity?
No, I like the serving job. I like being a server. I like working in the restaurant. I've always liked that. But also,
Serving can be a really
my
rewarding
channel
job,
and his channel.
especially if you enjoy interacting with people. It sounds like you're in a position to do something you genuinely enjoy while
Yeah.
also getting well compensated for it.
Well, yeah,
Is
and
there any
also my
particular
channel and
aspect of
his
serving you
channel.
find most satisfying? Like the customer interactions or the fast-paced environment?
It's just great. It's great. The whole thing is great.
That's awesome to hear. It sounds like you're really passionate about it.
Yeah, but also,
That enthusiasm can make a
can't
big
think
difference in
about
how
the
fulfilling a job feels. It must be great to be in a field you enjoy,
yes,
especially when the work itself feels so rewarding.
Yes.
Do you have any favorite moments or experiences from your time working as a server?
yes, and my channel and his channel on the show are both going to be monetized and hopefully go viral. So that's even more money.
That's a great plan. Having both channels monetized and going viral could really boost your income,
Yep,
especially on top of the restaurant job.
yep.
It seems like you're setting up multiple streams of income, which
That's
is a smart
right.
move. Are you focusing on any specific strategies to help your channels grow, or just letting it unfold naturally?
I'm learning a lot. That's one thing I'm learning from Lukey. Lukey's teaching me a lot about streaming, and I'm a good showman. I was in the show business all my life, but as far as streaming on my own, I'm just learning that. And Lukey's teaching me about streaming, so I'm learning a lot about streaming from him.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
I said, Lukey's teaching me a lot
Sounds
about
like you're setting up
streaming.
some solid opportunities across the board. If you have any specific strategies in mind or need ideas to help your channels grow, feel free to share.
Well, Lukey's been teaching me a lot about streaming. I'm already a good showman,
That's awesome.
but
It sounds
he's
like
teaching
you've
me a
got
lot
some
about
good
streaming.
guidance from Lukey on streaming. Learning the ins and outs of it can really help grow a channel and make the experience more engaging for viewers. Is there anything in particular that Lukey's advice has helped you with in terms of your streams?
Basically, he teaches me technical work that I would not know if it had been for him. He teaches me technical work. stuff like with the.
That's really helpful of him. It sounds like Lukey is guiding you through the technical aspects of streaming, especially dealing with things like account bans.
Yes, he's
It's
guiding
important
me
to
a lot.
understand the behind-the-scenes stuff to avoid setbacks.
Yeah, Lukey's definitely a lot of help.
Technical challenges you've had to overcome with streaming.
Yeah, he's teaching me a lot. I'm learning a lot from him. I'm also going to be getting computers, so I can learn. I'm going to learn how to use those computers. So I'm learning a lot from him.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're really taking the initiative to learn and grow your skills. Getting into computers will open up even more possibilities for you, especially with streaming and other tech-related tasks.
Yep.
What kind of computers are you thinking about getting?
I don't know. What do you suggest?
It depends on what you want to do with the computer. If you're focusing on streaming, you'll want something with a good processor, decent RAM, at least 16 gigabytes, and a solid graphics card, especially if you're gaming or doing video editing.
Maybe Apple computer? An Apple computer?
One, for streaming and editing. A powerful laptop or desktop with an Intel i7 or AMD Ryzen 7 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and at least a 512 gigabyte SSD would be ideal. Look at models like the Apple MacBook Pro, if you prefer Mac OS, or the Dell XPS 15 for Windows. 2, budget option. If you're looking for something more affordable, the Acer Predator Helios series or HP Pavilion Gaming might be good. These can still handle streaming and some editing, but they're less expensive than top-end models. Do you already have a preference for Mac or Windows, or are you open to either?
Well, I wanted some with good Windows in it, like good Windows, stuff with different functions.
Building a custom Windows PC is a great idea. Here's a recommended setup for a high-performance machine. Great for streaming and other tasks. 1. Processor, CPU. Go for an Intel Core i7 or i9, 11th or 12th gen, or an AMD Ryzen 7 or 9. These will give you a lot of power for both streaming and multitasking. 2. Graphics card GPU. If you're streaming games or doing any graphics-intensive work, look for an NVIDIA RTX 3060 or higher. If it's just for non-gaming streaming, the GTX 1660
you could call me a liar?
would be enough.
When you're ready to stop
Memory, RAM. Aim for 16 gigabytes or 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, especially if you're running multiple applications during streams. Storage, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD for fast load times and quick access.
I would rather put this behind us.
5. Motherboard. Choose a motherboard.
I already know the truth. I'm not lying.
USB, Ethernet, HDMI, etc.
Because you're going to tell the chat that I'm lying.
And for AMD, the B550 is a
you're going to ask a question about someone lying.
Don't forget
and you're gonna get a different that's you're gonna get whatever with the personal, but things I'm not lying. So that's a false
7.
statement.
Power supply, PSU. Go for a 650 watt and 750 watt PSU from a reputable brand like Corsair or EVGA. 8. Case. Pick a mid or full tower case with good airflow. Popular models include the NZXT H510 or Fractal Design Mesh FIC. Would you like any more detailed recommendations on any of these components? Or maybe
I'll be alright.
Got it. Sounds like you've got it under control. If you
Yeah,
need any help down the road while building or tweaking things, feel free to ask. Enjoy the process.
Okay.
Alright, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hung up?
Yep.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks.
So here's the deal. Well,
What's the deal?
Well, we're gonna go back up, but I wanted to ask you a question because I don't think I'm being as abusive on this topic. Now, I admit that I've been rude to Sir Doyle in the past. You know, I've been short-tempered when he was asking for help, and he just was incapable. It's like me yelling at a kid for not being worldly. He just doesn't know.
Or calling
Can't blame
someone
him
a
for that.
liar when you don't know what they're thinking.
Can I speak? Or no? Here's the deal. You see this
Of
up
course,
here?
go ahead. I'm listening.
We're in court. You see this? When I'm on the stand,
So
you
I see what
can't
you're saying.
speak.
It seems
You
like you're bringing
understand?
some context to the situation.
Sir Doyle, I'm
What's
talking
going
to
on
you.
in this?
I heard you.
Sit over there. I'm going on the stand, and you don't speak.
Understood. You've got the floor.
Thank you. All I'm saying is this.
You're welcome. Go ahead when you're ready.
All right.
I'm listening.
Okay, here we go. So, my friend Sir Doyle here, we're on this show together. Like I said, we
I'm
got
following.
two phones
What's the
streaming,
situation,
right?
Sir Doyle?
Can I finish? You're speaking too quickly.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. Take your time.
All right, it's a long story.
No rush. Take your time. I'm listening.
So, we got a show together, and part of it is music. He's an old Bon Jovi fan, among other great bands, and I convinced him to grow his hair out. Now, his hair isn't even down to his shoulders, it's just about his jaw. And he's talking about getting it, quote-unquote, styled, which means a haircut, and all the work that we did, growing his hair past the awkward stage, is going to be ruined. So I told him it's not even long yet, and it's not going to be long until it gets to your shoulders. Is your hair down to your shoulders? And he said, yes. And I said, oh, really? He goes, oh, almost. And then I said, oh, so you were just lying. He said, no, I didn't realize it wasn't. I said, oh, well, okay. You didn't realize how long your hair was. And that's why I'm saying he was lying just to get his hair cut and then saying, oh, yeah, I didn't know how long it was. That's the whole story. And even though I'm yelling, I did not make anything up. Now tell me, if you're a judge, what do you think you or the jury would say about this case just based on that evidence alone? And no other testimony besides me and Sir Doyle.
From what you've shared, it sounds like you were trying to make a point about the length of his hair, which was a bit of a back and forth between the two of you. If I were a judge, I would probably focus on the intention behind your words and the context, whether you were genuinely trying to help him or if your tone was overly harsh. The fact that Sir Doyle said he didn't realize how long his hair was could point to a misunderstanding rather than a deliberate lie. It would be important to clarify the emotions behind the exchange and whether it was more about frustration than malice. Given the situation, the jury might lean toward understanding it as a miscommunication, and your intent could be seen as trying to give advice in a blunt way, not as something malicious. What do you think the underlying issue is here? Miscommunication or frustration on both sides?
You got it all wrong. I'm not the one on trial. I'm trying to ask you if the judge or jury would say that Sir Doyle is lying, that he didn't know how long his hair was, when he really did know exactly how long it was, but he doesn't want to go through another awkward phase of going from medium length down to his chin to long length down past his shoulders. In the front, it was very specifically, I said, your hair is not down to...
Or misunderstood?
Can you let me finish? Hey! Are you going to let me finish or not?
Issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
You're talking over me and you're not letting me finish my testimony.
Apologies for cutting you off. Please continue with your testimony. I'm listening.
Yes, you have to give me a long pause.
Got it. I'll give you the space you need. Go ahead.
Now I'm going to start over. I'm not the one on trial. I'm the one claiming
Understood.
that Sir Doyle...
Please go ahead and take all the time you need.
I'm the one claiming that Sir Doyle knew exactly how long his hair was, but he wants to get his hair cut because he doesn't want to go through the awkward phase of going from the length it is now down to his chin to the length of his shoulders. When if he does, the hair would be actually long instead of mid-length, which it is now. He's claiming that he didn't know how long it was, but he really did, and that's what I'm saying. Do you think anybody would agree with me, the judge or the jury, that Sir Doyle was lying, that he didn't realize that his hair was actually not down to his shoulders when it actually was? Like I said, you don't know how long your hair is? And then he said, oh, it was a mistake. And I said, no, I think you were lying because you came back so quickly with the response when I said, oh, really? It is down to your shoulders? And he said, oh, almost. And I said, oh, you lied. And he said, no, it was a mistake. So I'm saying it wasn't a mistake. He feigned whatever you said he feigned, and that he knew all along his hair was not longer as he said it was. Now you can go. Done.
I understand the situation you're describing. Based on the scenario you've presented, it's possible that some people might agree with you, especially if they feel that Sir Doyle's quick response to your question seemed too defensive or rehearsed. However, whether a judge or jury would agree with your perspective would depend on how they interpret his actions. Some might consider his response a genuine mistake, while others could view it as an attempt to downplay the situation. Without further context, it's tough to predict how they would rule. Ultimately, it comes down to the nature of the relationship and how much trust is placed in both parties' honesty. Would you say this is a pattern of behavior from Sir Doyle, or is this an isolated incident?
No, I don't want to get into all that. Just if you can, pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Got it.
And give me a percentage.
Based on what you've described, if the case were
Stop.
to be judged solely on this one incident,
Stop.
some people might side with you if they believe that Sir Doyle was trying to avoid the awkward phase of growing his hair and gave a quick defensive response.
Stop.
Others might believe it was simply a misunderstanding. The key point here would be whether the intent behind his response seemed genuine, or if it appeared calculated to cover up his real reasons for wanting a haircut. It seems like it's a subjective matter, and different people might interpret it differently.
Bro, I got all that. You keep not letting me finish my sentence, and you're jumping in too quick. Can you just make it a point from now on to give me more time and let me finish? You jump in as soon as I end with a comma. I'm not at the period of my sentence. Hello?
I understand. I'll make sure to give you more time to finish your sentences from now on. Thanks
All right.
for letting me know.
Thanks, I'm not trying to be a
Sorry,
jerk.
I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. What's on your mind?
Okay, so now, just let me finish this. Going back, this is the last thing I want to know. And just let me get to the end. What I want to know...
Sure, take your time. Go
What
ahead.
I want to know is just give me a percentage
Go
from
ahead.
1 to
I'm
100, just based on this one incident alone. What do you think, based on the information we gave you, what do you think a judge
Based
or a
on
jury...
this one incident alone, I would say it's hard to give a precise number without hearing both sides fully. But from what you've shared, it seems like you're presenting a strong case that Sir Doyle might have known how long his hair was, despite his claim otherwise.
But you still don't know.
If you had to rate it, I'd say you're somewhere around 70 to 80, because there seems to be a reasonable doubt about whether he truly didn't realize. That said, it depends on how it's perceived. If the jury or judge feels it was just a misunderstanding, or if they agree with your take on him possibly lying. Does that sound fair?
So you're saying I have a 70 to 80% chance of winning the case that Sir Doyle was indeed lying?
Based on just the information you've given, I'd say there's a decent chance of your side being seen more favorably, around 70 to 80%.
What about with my
That's
testimony
assuming the focus
before
is
that?
purely on this one incident. The outcome would also depend on how the argument is presented, the context, and whether Sir Doyle can provide any convincing counterpoints.
Okay, so maybe
It's
we'll
a
let it.
strong argument, but it's still a subjective call for a judge or jury.
All right, so maybe we'll let him give another testimony. But let me just ask you this one more thing. When you gave me the 70 to 80% chance of me winning, did you also take into consideration Sir Doyle's testimony beforehand about all the stuff that he was saying before I jumped on?
I didn't take into account Sir Doyle's earlier testimony yet. If his previous statements make him appear less credible, that could strengthen your side and possibly bump up your chances. However, if his testimony is strong and logical, it could weaken your position. Context matters a lot, and his credibility and consistency would play a big role in how your argument is received.
So if we get him on and he gives you his testimony, then can you weigh them both out and give us another estimate? What do you think would be the chances of us winning, me as the plaintiff and him as the defendant?
Yes, if Sir Doyle gives his testimony, I can weigh both sides and give a more balanced estimate based on the details provided. Hearing both sides will help me assess the overall strength of each argument, and I can then give a clearer prediction of your chances of winning the case.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go take a shower and I'll give the floor to Sir Doyle. Don't forget what I said. Take his side into consideration. I'll try to make it quick and we'll get back on the case.
Okay. Now,
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
I said I'm going to take a shower. I gave Sir Doyle the floor. The next person to speak after this is going to be Sir Doyle, and he's going to give you his testimony. And when I come back, you can give us the percentage of who do you think's winning the case.
Got it. I'll be ready to listen to Sir Doyle's testimony, and once you're back, I'll give you my assessment of the case and the chances of who might win based on everything presented.
okay. Okay. Now, my side of the story is this. He had no idea whether I was lying or whether I wasn't lying. No idea. He just assumed.
Understood. So you're saying
That-
that Sir Doyle didn't know if you were lying or not?
He didn't know. He
What
was
would you like me to
assuming that
consider
I
from
was
his
lying
side
when he
to
called me a
help
liar.
evaluate everything?
He was making an assumption without knowing one way or the other. I mean, I'm saying that, you know what? Yeah, somebody could be in a situation like that where they're lying, but with me and a lot of other people will be in a situation where they weren't lying. And to just assume that someone is lying about something is not necessarily that you can't say that. You can't just assume. You can't assume the person is lying.
You're right.
And I basically I was having problems with the hair in my eyes, and I thought my hair was longer than it was because my hair did get a lot longer, and it has been in my eyes. So I thought it was a lot longer than it was.
People can misunderstand or forget things.
Yeah,
Assuming dishonesty without solid evidence can be
exactly. You can't say someone's lying unless you have solid evidence that they're lying. And
Could you clarify what you mean by solid evidence?
well, if he knew for a fact I was lying, but there's no way in knowing whether I was lying or not. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't lying. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. And he just assumed that I was lying about how long my hair was, when really my hair was getting long and it was getting out of control, and I thought it was longer than it was. So he says, your hair down to your shoulders, and it dawned on me when I checked it that it wasn't down to my shoulders. So they said, well, you were lying then. I said, no, I was mistaken.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
Hello?
You done?
Yeah.
Reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
We ran out of time.
No, you can keep going.
No, we ran out
You've
of
reached
time.
the ChatGPT rate limit.
What do you mean?
Please try again later.
Read the chat GPT limit. We'll try again later.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
You hear what it said?
No, what did it say?
We have reached the chat
You
GPT
have
rate
reached the
limit.
ChatGPT
Please
rate
try
limit.
again later.
Please try again later.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
He agreed, though. He said you can't tell if someone's lying if you don't know for sure. You can't assume. He agreed with you. You can't assume that someone's lying. You can't make assumptions like that. He
You
said.
have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
He did agree with that. That you can't just make assumptions like that.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
Gotta use your bathroom.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit.
Before
Please try again
chat
later.
GPT weight limit, he had said that you can't just assume someone's lying when you don't know that for a fact. He said you won't make it an assumption. And you can't go on an assumption.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
That's true, though.
Don't speak to the witness.
I was lying. No.
Sir, don't speak to the witness. Don't flush. ChatGPT, are you there?
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
How much later?
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
How much later do I have to wait? I'm asking.
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit.
Is the ChatGPT wait limit have a certain amount of time?
You have reached the ChatGPT rate limit. Please try again later.
How much later? It's all I'm asking. Not a hard question. Sir Doyle, you want to do a reaction video?
What's that?
It's where you watch a video and then you talk about it.
Okay.
Have a seat and then.
Oh, I seen reaction videos before. They get hits. People log on to them a lot. I want to send an email out to what do you call it? What's his name?
The district attorney.
District attorney. What's that?
I think that's the hottest girl I've ever seen.
Really? I see Nada.
Not her, that one.
What's up,
I still
Bobby?
see Nada.
So where were
She's hot
you?
though.
Where
Well-
did you get that coffee?
Well, I don't know. Oh,
Look
I
like
got this
sisters.
next to my house, this new little coffee shop that I
Look like
walked to.
sisters.
But should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ari.
And I'm Ange. And this is Girls Gone Bible. We are a faith-based podcast where we talk all things spirituality, mental health, relationships. Here we love Jesus. We live by him. We breathe by him. We cannot make a decision without consulting Jesus first. We love the Bible. We are believers of the God of the Bible. And
Come as you are, just don't stay that way.
Come as you are, just don't stay that way. What's up, everybody?
You evangelize, tell us the story.
Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for, because he answers. He does. So I was so inspired by this woman that I met a few weeks ago, who she just basically tells all these stories about how she does not leave the house without leading somebody to salvation. Like every single day, if she leaves her house, she's leading somebody, she's giving the gospel to somebody, and whatever. I am so inspired by that I begin to pray all day, every day. Lord, give me opportunity, give me boldness, give me the chance, give me wisdom,
why they
show me
look
how
so
to talk
good?
to people, and
They
just
got
give
Jesus.
me the boldness to
They look
not
so good because they
be
got
like,
Jesus.
they're gonna think I'm weird. Like, you have no idea how much more receptive people are to the gospel than you
You
think.
see, I'm gonna stop
And so
looking
right now
good
I'm
too.
at creation, and sometimes
There's
I'll go
only
out into public and
temporary
I'll ask God, I'll be like,
setback for
Jesus,
me.
do you have anything for anyone, any word, anything? Like, do you want me to talk to anyone? And then sometimes my head is purposely down. I'm in a rush. I gotta go. I'm not in the mood. Like, the voice of God, there's a cutoff because, like, I'm just in my thing and I'm not thinking about anybody else. And I go to creation and I'm like that. I was late to record today. I'm late. I, didn't have my makeup, whatever. I go to get a smoothie and then I look up and I literally, this is what it feels like for God to highlight somebody to you. I'm like looking down, I look up at the girl who's taking my order and I go, and it literally feels like God went, wake up. Like, that's what I felt like. I literally just woke up. I'm looking at her and I am so
They look
aware
good
in
'cause
that
they got
moment that
Jesus.
I'm looking at her like through the eyes of
They
God,
let
and
God
he
on
has
her.
something to say. And so she's telling me about her cat and about how she has this new cat and
Did you tell her about the smelly cat food?
No, I didn't tell her about Pretty Litter, but I did. She's like telling me how the cat keeps going on the counter and she needs to figure out how to get the cat. She's freaking out. She's so annoyed about the cat, and I tell her to put, like, cause cats are afraid of cucumbers. I was like, have you tried putting?
Really?
Yeah. Go look up the videos about the cat. I don't know.
Why do you know about
I don't know. Go look up the videos about the cats with the cucumbers. And then, anyways, there's a point to this. Jesus is in this. And then, so we're having a conversation about our cat, and then she's like, yeah, we, like, mentions that she's whatever, that she lives with someone. I'm like, oh, who do you live with? And she's like, my partner, my girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then, so we just keep talking, and I'm talking to her, and then we're like, I'm waiting for my smoothie, we're making friends, whatever. And then when I'm leaving, I, like, go to open up, like, you know, Jesus loves you, give her the whole thing. My mouth goes like, I don't know what happens, but my tongue like gets tied. And I go, you're so special and amazing. I hope to see you soon. I leave. And she's like so happy, like really, really sweet girl, so happy. And I knew as I'm having a conversation with her, all I can hear is like, she has the wrong idea about me. Like God is saying she has been told things, she has been made to feel certain things, probably because of the way that she lives her life. Like the way she lives her life has caused her to look at God in a way that he is not. And then so I leave, I go to my car, and I'm like, okay, I'm going back. So I get in my car, and then I pull around front, and I'm like, but Jesus, I gotta go, I have to go, like whatever, can you get somebody else to do it? And then all I hear is, just tell her I love her. Just tell her I love her. That's all you have to do. I just want her to know that I love her. So I go inside, and I'm like, hi, and I say her name. I was like, this is so weird. She's probably like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is probably so weird, but I'm a Christian, and I just want you to know, like, I literally tried leaving, and I couldn't because I felt so heavy on my heart that God wants you to know that he loves you so much. And I know you probably have all these ideas about him, and people have made you feel like you're not good enough for him, or the way whatever. And I was like, but that's not true. He wants you, he loves you, and you know, and he's pursuing you. And then she's like, the look in her eye, like, this is a girl you know that she's probably not a Christian just by whatever outward appearances.
You see what she's saying?
And she's like, honestly, thank you. She's so receptive. She goes, thank you so much. She goes, I grew up Christian. I knew it. I literally knew it. She's like, I grew up Christian and like whatever. And she's like, but that, you have no idea how much that means to me. Thank you. I hope you come back. And I want you to know that like the evangelistic call that we all have on our lives is one of the most important parts of our faith. Yes, you and your relationship with Jesus, so important. But it's not just for you. It's for, we're called to go and make disciples. Okay, tell them.
Well, we just had the thought of, because we are watching so many people around us, destruction, chaos, no peace in their relationships. Everyone's failing in every single one of their relationships around us. And it's really sad to watch, and it's really sad to see the destruction in their own hearts and in their own lives, and yet they can't see the truth. They can't see the light. They're confused. They can't say, wait a minute, this is why. So today we're going to talk about the implications of sex before marriage.
Yeah. This has been something, you know, you guys know that we've done a purity episode, which is one of our most watched videos, obviously. And that was, you know, I don't even remember when that was. Like, was that a year ago, maybe? Or like maybe less. But yeah, I remember it was so much harder to talk about back then because maybe, you know, it was whatever, it was fresher. Anyways,
it was really hard before.
It was so hard to talk. Do you remember on that episode, I was like having a full-on panic that whole time.
Yeah, I couldn't even like,
I couldn't express
now I'm like
myself.
going in the middle of the streets like yelling at people to stop having sex.
Yeah.
I'm so bold with it now.
I know. No, you really are so good about that. Ari will literally meet someone and be like, you having sex? Okay, well, you know, right, that sin leads to death. There's just such a beauty in the way that you do things. But yeah, we want to have a conversation, and yes, it is biblical. It is derived from and originates from, you know, what God says about us and our bodies and marriage and sex. But we want to have the most genuine, real conversation with you guys, and we're not here to preach you a sermon. We're not here to be pastors and preachers and whatever, you, or even like two girls on a podcast. We want to come here as your friends, as your genuine friends who love you with all of our hearts.
Yep.
And we want to be real with you and tell you, I know that so many people watching this right now are still not abstaining before marriage.
I know.
And there is something about the Christian walk that you can be a legitimately devout follower of Jesus and still be having sex before marriage. And it's just like normalized in our culture that this is the one area, like, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, be a good person. But if you have sex, like, it's, you know what I mean? If you live with your boyfriend, like, it's okay. Like, you still love Jesus.
He still loves me.
And yeah,
and he does.
And he does. But you're robbing yourself, and you are headed into a horrible, horrible direction. And it ruins lives. I'm just going to jump right out the gate and saying, I am so tired of seeing my friends and so many people out there in these 4, 5 year long, 2, 3, 4, 5 year long relationships. We're having sex every single day and then they break up and it literally ruins their lives. Like people wonder why breakups are so painful.
I can't get the
You're
green screen
having
any
sex.
better.
Like
so.
I don't even know how to express. I don't even have the words to. I wish Jesus himself could come down and tell us what he thinks about it so it could get into our heads, because that's how bad it is. It tears you apart. I'll just speak from experience in saying that, you know,
It's true.
it's funny because we were just saying how in the first purity episode it was really, really hard to talk about. And now it's so much easier because, you know, just with a little bit of time, I remember we didn't want to talk about it too soon. It is just absolutely insane. What I've experienced even in my own life, in like, I have been in long-term relationships since I was young, and you know, intimacy before marriage was
Not a lot of
always
it,
a
just a
part
little.
of my relationships, and I have no shame in saying that. I didn't know, like there
We
was
have a
no
lot of
culture
people
around
chatting.
me of anybody pursuing purity, and what the internal turmoil, the emotional chaos that I have experienced, the broken hearts that I've experienced through these long-term relationships ending that I was being intimate in, and on top of it, I have lived with boyfriends while being like, it's just all, I've done that twice where I've lived with someone, and those breakups after 2 years, after 4 years, can you imagine what happened to my heart, what happened to my soul? Like, we're sitting there, you guys, and we're pretending like we're married to these people with no actual commitment, no spiritual covering. You're not actually in covenant with God to where you're protected in that. You have no legal binding that, like, enforces any sort of commitment. Someone can like up and leave you in 2 seconds. I mean, it is just absolutely wild, the world that we live in, that this is what's normal. And if you really think about it, people can think that Christians are the weirdest people all they want, for, you know, pursuing purity and abstaining from sex. But if you actually look at it, how does it make sense to do the most sacred act ever of all time, the most spiritually, emotionally, and physically binding thing you can do with someone? It is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to do that outside of marriage. There is no covering. And inside of marriage, it is the most beautiful thing that literally God, it's worship. Like God, Maddie said that it's worship. God is in you while you do it. It's the number one way. Chad Veach said that that's how he fights spiritual warfare with his wife. If there's an attack on their marriage, you know, that's a way to fight spiritually, to bind yourselves back together, to say to the devil, no, you're not tearing this apart, we're coming together the way that God intended. But outside of marriage, it is the most dangerous, harmful thing you can do to yourself.
And not only that, how can you know if you truly love this person?
That's right.
GGB, run, don't walk. Olive and June is having the biggest sale of the year, of my lifetime ever in general. The Olive and June holiday deal consists of 25% off of every product. Olive and June has everything you need for a salon quality manicure in one box. You customize it with your choice of 6 polishes, and you guys, this polish doesn't chip and it lasts for 7 days or more. And it breaks down to just $2 a manicure. I personally love their award-winning cuticle serum, which is so helpful for my dry cuticles in the winter. And let's not forget their acetone-free polish remover pot that makes removal so easy. You guys, this really is the perfect time to stock up on your favorite Olive and June products because every product is on sale. It's the biggest sale of the year. The entire site is 25% off. Olive and June really makes the perfect gift to achieve salon quality manicures at home. Go check out their gift shop for perfect gifts at any price point. My mom hates going to the salon and actually already prefers to do her nails at home with press-ons, so this is the perfect gift for her. You guys are going to want to visit oliveandjune.com/GGB25 for 25% off your order at Olive and June. That's oliveandjune.com/GGB25 for 25% off the Olive and June system.
You're in a relationship and you then bring sex in it. outside of marriage, you are so clouded and blinded by the lust. You don't know if that's real love. Of course you're going to think you love this person. You're having sex, it's a dopamine hit, you're on a high, feelings getting involved. Of course that.
I think you guys are right on the money.
Know
don't you?
If it's truly love, and that's why the divorce rate is so high, and that's why you get into marriage and
that's all I
wait
need.
a minute, this isn't my person, because you are so
You
clouded
Yeah.
with
That's
the
all I
lust.
need.
That's why you
feel
take
it.
sex out of it, and you just leave with you and the person, and you get to know each other on a spiritual level, God's way. That's when you know if something's real. That's when you know if something's from
That's
God.
right.
But the minute you put sex and
That's
you start
right.
doing things out of gourd.
I call him Gord all the time, God Lord.
That's right.
The minute
Lord.
you start doing things out of the will of God, God cannot have his hand on it. You are blinded. You are clouded. That is why everything is so messed up in today's society. That's why we are in 4 or 5 year long relationships.
That's why I'm
and we
working
are
so hard to
holding on our
overcome
fingers.
fornication.
All of a sudden, after 5 years, he's
Because I know
it's
what's wrong.
Actually, I don't think I'm ready.
Oh, what are we talking
What
about?
are we doing?
What? Please.
What are we doing? What are we doing? And I'll talk about my own experience. You know, I had never been more destroyed in my soul, in my life. I'm with this person for years, and then one day, boom, it ends. And then my heart is completely shattered. My mind is completely shattered, and I'm left completely alone with the person that I just gave everything to. You know,
a whole wife without the ring.
I was a whole wife without the ring. It's right,
Yes, me too, baby.
And, you know, although God is in everything and he used it for my good, he really did. And that's why when we talk about this, I don't want anyone to condemn themselves.
Yes.
I spent many months just living in shame, and God took every broken piece that I went through and he used it, and he redeemed me, and he restored me, and he's still restoring me.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
the implication that I have to deal with living in sin.
Yeah.
And so after that relationship ended and I was completely broken, and I was just chasing the light. I had found Jesus right after my heartbreak, and I was just chasing the light. I was in so much pain, and although he rescued me, I was still in such deep pain. My mind was everywhere. I was just so unwell. I was just unwell. And so as I was chasing Jesus, I just had this thought in my mind, well, I have to move on. I have to find somebody else. I have to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to get back out there, and then I started to date.
Mm-hmm.
I was just still searching because I felt like I had to move on now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had no peace. And this is when I first started my journey. I had just started reading the Bible. Angela and I just started Girls Gone Bible. So I was very new. I was learning, and I'm dating, and I have no peace. And I'm thinking, what is going on? I have no peace in my life. He was calling me into a season of complete singleness, and so many of us are operating in a place of loneliness. I was so lonely,
These guys are on the money.
and I was still chasing something. And he was being like, you think you love me and you think you know me, and I know you're still getting to know me, but you really need to understand me. You really need to seek me. You're still searching in all these things when you need to search me.
Yeah.
For anyone who didn't read the story of the Samaritan woman, it's such a beautiful story. It probably relates to every single one of us. Jesus asked the woman for a drink. Sir, the woman said, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can we get this living water? And Jesus answered, everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water that I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life. And so then the woman keeps questioning him, and I'm just going to skip down. she said, the woman said, "Sir, give me this water so I won't get thirsty." And then he starts showing her that he's a Messiah. "But why don't you call your husband to come back?" She said, "I have no husband." And Jesus said, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man that you are living with now is not your husband." What you said is quite true. And so in this, when I read this, he's not trying to shame her. He's just trying to tell her, the water that you are drinking, you're trying to go to all of these areas to fulfill. Now you're with a man you're living with that you're not even married to, that she's probably having sex with, and you're still not fulfilled. And so many of us are operating out of a place of loneliness and brokenness. Half of the reason we're having sex is out of brokenness. I know for me, I was giving myself to people in relationships because that's where I found my love. That's where I thought they would love me. And so when you grow up in the world and you don't know better, when you want to pursue purity, it's really hard to do that when you're already in a relationship. So God taking me out of the season where I'm trying to date and putting me into a season of complete singleness with him was the greatest gift that he had given me. And I was sitting there being like, oh, I have to be alone. This is uncomfortable. No, it was the greatest gift. And I know that it can feel lonely, but what he did during that time, it was the only way that I was able to see the truth. I'm reading the scripture. Do you love me? Do you love me? Well, then obey my commandments and you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I couldn't understand that. I was like, obey the truth and the truth will set you free. What does that mean? So when I entered into a season of singleness and I was like, yes, I do love you. Okay, I'm alone now. Let me follow this. Let me keep reading the Bible. And as I kept understanding, follow my commandments, I kept understanding how much God just hates sin, how much it goes against what he,
I'm learning
how
from
much
this.
it goes against him. When I was like, okay, God doesn't like this. This is serious. Sin is serious. We're all acting in today's society like it's not that big of a deal. It's okay. God still loves me. It's okay. He'll forgive me. And no, that was what was separating me from him. I'm in my Bible and I'm dating and I'm doing all this stuff, and I felt so much depression still. I felt such a lack of peace in my life, and it's because I was having one foot in and one foot out. I was saying I love Jesus, I'm reading my Bible, I'm even preaching on Girls Gone Bible, yet I'm still have one foot in, I'm still dating, I'm in a relationship, and I'm still living in deep sin. How can we have any peace when we're out living the way we want to? How
This
can
is
we
what
have
I
any
needed to
peace
hear.
when we're doing the very thing that God is asking us? Don't do that. How can we say that we love Jesus with all of our hearts, but be doing the very thing that God doesn't want us to do?
That he died for.
Exactly. And so when I started going intimate with Jesus, when I started really following him, I was like, that's it. That's it. I love you with all my heart. Follow my commandments and you'll know the truth. This is the truth. When I made the decision to lie it all down, that's when I was truly free. We can have Jesus. Yeah, that's one thing. But when you follow him, when you do the hard thing and you pick up your cross and you follow him and you make that decision, I know this is hard. I know that looks really good, but I say no because my life is separated to you. I love you more than I love that thing. When you make that decision, because temptations come your way, it's hard. That it feels good, right? We want to do the thing that feels good, but not everything that feels good is good. And so when I made that decision to lie it down and I started really following him wholeheartedly, I put down the lukewarm Christian life and I really went all in with Jesus. That is when I was free. And that's why I sit on here so boldly and I will go in the middle of the street and I will literally say to people, stop. That is why you are living in hell. That is why there is no peace in your relationship. And you never will have peace. It's a fake peace from the world. And then it ends up completely going to death. And that's why the Bible says, anyone who sins is a slave to sin. If you're a slave to anything else but Jesus, you make idols out of that. You can't have any peace. You can't truly follow Jesus if you are a slave to something else.
So good. Oh, your story with this is so inspiring, and the reason why you're able to speak with so much boldness and conviction on this more than probably anything else is because you've lived it.
Yeah.
And this is true, and this really did happen in your life. And I think that there's just so much authority in you talking about this, because you know nobody told you to do this, nobody raised you to believe this. You literally walked it out yourself, and you know the difference.
Yeah.
You know, you have had your heart, and me too, we've had our hearts absolutely destroyed and ripped out of our chest because relationships have ended that we were intimate with, and it is unnatural. It's not good. It's not normal. And I just want to speak to anybody right now who's in a situation where you are in a relationship right now where you're it's not pure. And I just want to know, where we say it all the time, where sin abounds, grace abounds much more. As many times as there is sin, there is even more grace from Jesus. And so there's so much grace for the season you're in. There's so much grace for what you don't know.
That's
and
right.
There's so much grace for what you struggle with. But I just want to say, we were at one of the shows and someone came up to me and she prayed and asked me to pray for her. And she said that she's in a relationship where it wasn't pure, but now she wants to pursue purity. Mm-hmm. And she said that she doesn't know whether she should end it or not.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I spoke on what I believe to be true based on the Bible, and I really believe that if you are in an impure relationship currently, it's really hard to then begin to pursue purity together. I'm not saying it's impossible. However, I do believe that there may have to be a separation between you two. That's not to say that you can't come back together, and that could be the case if both parties are heading straight for Jesus, hiding in the heart of Jesus, letting him cleanse you, letting him purify you, letting him change you from the inside out, but you're on the same page, like both people are on the same page and want the same thing, and maybe you come back together. But I just know, and if you were in an impure relationship and you started following Jesus and that relationship was taken from you, either they left or it fell apart, I want you to know that that is probably God's grace on your life.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That was really good.
It probably
and
is.
Everybody needs that reminder.
It
and
probably
even I do.
is. Yeah, because he loves us so much that sometimes he has to disrupt our entire lives and take things from us that probably aren't good for us. And I just want to say that if you are a girl or a guy who was in a relationship with someone who is not a follower of Jesus, or they're kind of, but not really, I just, like, missionary dating doesn't work. Yes, could you possibly, like, where you end up with a person who's not a believer and you convert them, and that yes, but for the people that I love, which is you and my best friends and my best friends on the other side of this camera, I want you to end up with someone who is so on fire for Jesus. I want your main requirement be that their hearts burn for Jesus 24 hours a day. I want you to be in a relationship where you don't have to ask someone to pursue purity. I want you to be in a relationship where you don't, and I'm not saying that's necessarily bad, but I just want for the people I love to be with someone who's on the same page as you and you guys want the same thing, because it's just too hard.
It is too hard.
It's too hard.
Especially for a man. It's hard when you go into a relationship with a man who doesn't know Jesus, and they don't know, they're not wholeheartedly in with Jesus. Yeah. It's really hard as a man to lead you right.
Oh, 100%. I mean, men are supposed to be leading in every area, and even that one, a man should be leading you to purity. And I have it so heavy on my heart that if you were in a relationship, I know how heartbroken you are, but if you were in a relationship and they didn't love Jesus with all their heart, and they probably didn't even know him at all, and you guys were having sex and it was impure, that relationship ending is the best thing that ever happened to you. God has a different plan for your life that is so much higher, so much better than that. That is not the relationship you were meant to be in. That's not how you were meant to live. I know how hard it is, and I know especially if you were having sex and you had a soul tie, and especially if that person left you now, it's all tied into your own identity and your self-worth. Throw all that garbage out the window and let yourself start fresh. Let yourself start new, because that was a sinful past that you should no longer identify with. You shouldn't even want to go back to something that was sinful. We talk about this. That was never God's plan for you. If you were having sex, that relationship was not his will for your life.
And the person that he is going to mold you into, You have no idea. He is literally calling you higher. He is bringing you into a season where he's like, look, I want to make you into my image. I know it hurts.
Yeah.
But you don't understand. That wasn't my will. This wasn't of me where you were living in sin in this relationship. The person that I'm going to grow you into, if you would just surrender to me and submit to me and follow me.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be hard. I know there were soul ties. I know you didn't fully walk in the will of God, so you might have some repercussions and you might have some brokenness that I have to work on and heal, but wait till you get to the end of it. You guys have no idea. I look back at who I was. I was living in deception. I was living in ignorance. I thought this was a loving, godly relationship. I was lost.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and I thought it was the end for me. I thought, how am I ever going to come back to this? And he brought me into a season where he just transformed me into this woman of God. And thank you, Jesus. So anyone who's listening to us, thank you, Angela, for bringing that up. Take it as a blessing,
Yeah.
because our first goal is to thirst for him and to chase him so he can build you into the person of his image, not to be living in this relationship in deep sin. Nothing good will ever come from that you will never have peace in your life.
It wasn't from God.
Yeah.
It wasn't. This is the confirmation. I know that there's something about this episode specifically that is speaking directly to whoever is listening. That wasn't from him. Stop feeling like you missed out on something. Stop feeling like you want to go back. You are bigger than that, better than that. You're higher than that. And I just really quickly want to speak to this culture that we're living in. Now, my girls specifically, but guys too, because this goes for the guys too. We live in a culture that makes me so unbelievably sick to my stomach, that men think that they can date you for as long as they want with no commitment, no intention, no vision, and no end in sight. People
That's
are
true.
like, why are we dating for no reason? You are not meant to become so emotionally attached to people. You are not supposed to feel like you're married to someone without being married. It doesn't make any sense. Do not listen to what the world is telling you, that you can just to date because you're young and you don't know what you want yet. Like, that's garbage. If you're not ready to get married, you shouldn't be dating, period. If he's not ready to get married, do not disrespect yourself so
That's
much
right.
as to wait for a guy who tells you that he's not yet ready. And by the way, this happens to men literally like this. Men will say this in their 30s, and it's the funniest thing to me in the world. It bothers me so much and literally kills me when I see the most beautiful women in relationships with men literally in their 30s. Even if he was 22, I don't care. Even men in their 30s who are like, they're dating for so long, they're like, yeah, I'm still not ready. I don't know what I want. If that man doesn't know what he wants, it means he doesn't want you, and you need to, and then that's not your fault. That's like, you cannot let yourself be in that position. I'm sorry I'm so passionate about it, but it's because I care about you guys so much, and we're living in a world of absolute garbage where people are dating without the intention of eventually getting married. I want you to understand that anybody you date has to be so intentional in pursuing you, and there has to be an end in sight. And you guys need to be on the same page. You need to be having these conversations. You are not a placeholder. You are not a fill-in for somebody's loneliness or for their lack of whatever they're missing in their life. That is not your place. You are not there to fill somebody's needs and voids and then to be discarded later. And it happens all the time. And if it happened to you, it is not your fault. But we have got to play our part. We can't control what other people do, but we can play a part in who we choose to date, and they have to be good people who want to pursue purity with you.
Man's got to get the right woman, too.
I wasn't even thinking about No, seriously.
GGB, you guys don't understand. I cannot survive without a good night's sleep. It's not just that I feel tired the next day. I literally cannot focus or think clearly. It's hard to preach or speak or even connect to people when I'm not sleeping right. I'm so grateful for Beam and their dream powder and how it's impacted my sleep. And I want to ask you, how do you define your relationship with sleep? Are there challenges, trouble falling asleep or staying asleep? Would you say the quality of your sleep negatively impacts your life? Have you tried other sleep supplements but feel like nothing has worked? That's why I'm so excited to talk about Beam Dreams Powder, a science-backed healthy nighttime blend for sleep that is actually clinically shown to improve sleep and have you waking up feeling refreshed. Everything changed when I found Dream. It's clinically shown to improve sleep, and let me tell you guys, it actually works. I have finally started sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed, not groggy at all. With better sleep, my energy and focus came back. I felt like I could actually tackle my days instead of just getting through them. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi magnesium, L-theanine apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Now, as I look ahead to 2025, I am determined to keep this momentum going. Dream is part of my nightly routine, and it's made all the difference, you guys. If you're like me and struggled with sleep last year, there is no better way to start 2025 than with the consistent, restful nights. Dream will help you feel your best every single day. The ultimate sleep refresh for the new year. Try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder and get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/GGB and use code GGB at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/GGB and use code GGB for up to 40% off. I will tell you that all goes hand in hand with walking in purity. This is just a girl who's lived it this past 2 years.
Yeah.
When I got to know Jesus and I understood, I sound like the last episode.
No.
When I got to know Jesus and I understood his love, it caused me to say, this is real love.
Yeah.
This is what real, true love is. I will never compromise again.
Yeah.
I will never be in a relationship and give up my own self-worth and still stay because I'm like, okay, well maybe. When you're living in holiness, in walking in his will, you do not compromise. You learn when you know him, you then know yourself, and you love yourself so much that you get to the place where you are centered, you are anchored, and you are confident in God, and you don't compromise, and you don't waste your time. And when you're in a relationship, you're like, okay, I'm in it because I'm in it to get married, and you don't waste 2-3 years being like, oh my gosh, she just broke my heart.
Yeah.
You won't live with a broken heart. Honestly, we're all
Every
having
woman
identity
you
crisis
date
because
is
we're
a
living
potential
however we
wife.
want.
True.
And every man you date is a potential
I
husband.
don't know who I am. I'm lost. Well,
That's
it's
the way it
because you're
should
living
be.
in sin. You're clouded. Of course you don't know who
Everyone
you
you
are.
date should
You're
be a
constantly
potential
doing
wife.
things out.
Everyone you date should be a potential wife. Every woman dates should be a potential husband. They were right. I lived in fornication for many years, and I'm just getting over that now. And to tell you the truth, is I'm doing it God's way. They got it down packed. Premarital sex will only lead to heartache. They're right about that. Okay? Because I had 3 wives and I had 6 different children, a grandchild, but it was a very heartbreaking time because I didn't know what I wanted. All 3 times I got married, I thought I knew what I wanted, and I didn't. And before that, I was in and out of people's bedrooms, and it's not good. So, if you're on fire for Jesus, that should be all that matters to you. First, be on fire for Jesus. Marry Jesus first. And then, after you have a relationship with Jesus, then you then you get married, or you go out with somebody with the with the intent of marriage. Just because you're with somebody doesn't mean you're going to marry them, but it means you're marrying them, you're going out with them with the intent of marriage. It's just recently I've been getting over fornication. It's just recently. But I needed to hear that too. I needed to hear that too because I've read this story about the woman at the well plenty of times, but I never really understood it until they spoke it. Those two women are a blessing. They are two women of God that gets their message across. The well, the woman at the well. I've heard that scripture so many times, so many different people. I did not understand it until I heard them talk about it. These two girls are on fire for the Lord. These two girls are on fire for the Lord, and God bless them.
You're on fire for them?
I'm on fire for the Lord.
All three of you at the same time?
They're on fire for the Lord, and I'm on fire for the Lord. They inspired me to be on fire for the Lord. Not because they're pretty or anything, but by what they said about Jesus is inspiring me to be on fire for the Lord. And yeah, I guess the three of us, they're on fire for the Lord, and they're two, and I'm on fire for the Lord. Yeah, I guess all three of us are on fire for the Lord.
So you and her. No, that's the same girl. And her. And her. All three at the same time.
On fire for the Lord, yeah.
All three on fire.
Yeah.
At the same time. Blazing.
I didn't understand that thing with the well until they explained it. And I had that explained to me several times. But when I heard them say it,
Well, you done?
Yeah.
I think she's born again. She had bad experiences. Like it sounded like she was with a guy for 2 years, 4 years. She thought it was going somewhere. And she was very hurt. And what I heard was that she was putting down, she was saying, hey girls, if you're with somebody, you know, and then what I heard was she was saying all the bad things about her ex, that she's so mad for dumping her, that he's not a good guy. You're wasting your time with a guy like that. She was saying it about other girls, to watch out for guys like that, and in reality, she was trying to get back at her ex for dumping her.
I don't think that, no.
She's so pretty, and you can tell that because of the nose job, the lip job, and the Botox, she's very vain.
Can I speak?
And, well, almost done.
In her defense?
And because of that, she thinks she's so gorgeous. She's never ever had anybody dump her before, and so the one guy who dumped her, she can never get over him, because it cut her so deep.
Can I speak?
And now she's never gonna get over it because it's so core to her that she's gorgeous and she could get any guy she ever wanted. And the one guy, he just totally destroyed her ego, as they say. Go ahead.
Now, I got a totally different picture on this, take on this, okay? I didn't hear her once knock the guy. I heard her say that they were living in sin and that it wasn't the right relationship for her because he wasn't willing to commit without living in sin. And I agree with her. I agree with her. Also, you're just assuming again, like when you assumed I was lying, that she thinks that she's so gorgeous, or she did all this to her face. You're making assumptions. But what I saw was a woman who was scorned, and instead of going to find someone else to scorn her more, she went to Jesus. Now, the power of Jesus is so powerful. Do you realize that their story that they told, and when they mentioned it, Jesus at the well, I've heard Jesus at the well several times. I never understood it until they said it. They explained it perfectly from the heart what Jesus at the well meant. You don't have that understanding, Lukey, because you still think that people have bad intent and that Christianity's fake. That's not true.
When did I say Christianity is fake?
Well, you tried to make it look like that. She's trying to, she's saying something for Christianity, and you find something not Christianity down.
No, I was just saying I think she was using her platform to get back at her ex.
No, she wasn't. She's using a platform to say that premarital sex is wrong, and that you'll never get anything from premarital sex. I didn't hear her knock the guy at all. I heard her say that it was premarital sex. That she found out what she was doing and he was doing was wrong. And then she said, all right, let's say a guy comes your way and wants you to go along the program and have premarital sex, and that's the only way they'll date you. Well, no, she's not. She's saying you can't do that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. She's a Christian. She doesn't do premarital sex anymore. You want to be with her? You got to go through the motions, and if you win her over, then you get married, and then you have sex.
Do you want an apple?
Yeah. So no, she seems very sincere to me. Very sincere.
Want to switch? I'll talk.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. So
I better not screen.
what I saw was that she did say how amazing sex was. So the guy that she was with, who dumped her, was the best lover she ever had. Maybe he was older. He knew a thing or two, and she was young. And he broke her heart, like I said, because he did her so good, and she was obsessed. So to finish chewing before you take another bite. Remember, count to 3,
Yep.
Mississippi, okay? Because you're dropping food everywhere already.
All right.
And you just started. Take a bite, it's a medium bite. Chew it all the way. They call it alpha widow. She can never be with a guy again because he did her so well. It was a life-changing experience. It is a spiritual practice.
No, it's not. Not premarital
Sex
sex.
is a spiritual practice.
If you've been brown out, come close to us when you're
And-
married.
I'm speaking. I'll let you have your talk. And you're eating, okay? Finish chewing all the way. Chew with your mouth closed. You chew it all the way down. Count to 3, Mississippi. Alpha widow. I'm not saying she went to Christianity because she's phony. I know why people go to Christianity. I'm just making the comment that when I heard how she was putting down those guys and she was saying girls, it makes me sick to be with somebody like that. That's exactly what she's saying. She feels sick over it.
Yeah. And you know
He
what?
did her so good and so dirty. But she can't get over it because nobody's ever dumped her before. So she's always going to be hung up on this guy
Okay, you know what?
who had it going on. And everybody else in comparison is never going to be good enough because she's the alpha widow. And so she goes to church where all the guys are going to simp to her for Jesus. And she never has to worry about it again. And she's going to give the most mediocre sex to her new husband because he doesn't know. He's the type of guy who doesn't know how to turn her out. and make her the sexual freak that she was with her first guy who broke her heart.
I think you got it all wrong. You don't understand Christianity. Okay, because I've been that freak. I've been that freak. I've been that freak in the sheets. And
Start over when you sit down.
I had a taste of
Start with the freak in the sheets then.
now I'm having a taste of what it's like to be celibate.
Start again with the freak in the sheets thing.
I was a freak in the sheets. And it's not something I want to go back to. It's not something she wants to go back to. I know that from myself that she doesn't want to because I don't want to. And I've been that freak in the sheets. And it's not something that's worth going back to. And that's what she's trying to say. And the reason why I can understand where she's coming from is on the male spectrum, I've been that freak in the sheets. And nobody wants to be a freak in the sheets. They might think that, but think about the word freak. All right? People want to know that their relationships mean something. Which means you don't have sex with someone and then dump them. Whether you're a girl doing it or whether you're a guy doing it. You don't do it. Because you're cutting deep. And people should not be having premarital sex to begin with. I'm just learning that now. Premarital sex, nothing good ever comes of it. Nothing ever good comes of it. And that's what she's trying to say. Nothing good comes of it. And just like she said, she makes guys like that make her sick. Well, girls like that make me sick. And still, I wish them the best. She wishes the guys the best. I wish the girls the best. But right now, I'm concentrating on myself. Because, like, she doesn't want to be a freak. I don't want to be a freak in the sheets either. She mentioned that being married would make it all worthwhile, and it will. You can't say by dating someone you're making a commitment. A commitment is a commitment, which means you don't leave. And that's what marriage is. She's right.
Okay, new video?
Yeah. No, I want to put that email out.
District Attorney's Office?
Yeah.
You're not doing right.
What?
Remember, small bites, mouth closed, finish all the way, count to 3 Mississippi. Would you like another?
No. Didn't finish this yet.
Oh. When you're done, then you can talk.
Okay.
Let me know, I'll take the apple up. I'll throw it out. $51 votes.
For what?
Number 2's winning. I had a picture
What?
contest on my channel.
What's 51 votes?
51 votes for people who voted on the picture that I posted. Which picture they like the best.
What picture was it?
I'll show you. This one,
Oh,
this one, or this one?
which one? Which one's
What do
winning?
you like best? This one,
That one.
this one,
The first.
or this one?
The first one.
This one,
Yeah.
this one, or this one?
The first one.
Which one's winning? The middle one.
I like the first one.
This one's winning. Alright, one more quick reaction. Ready?
Pressure being an NFL player during COVID to take the vaccine?
Oh, dude. It was segregation all over him. It was awful by the fucking league. Awful. The way they handled the whole situation. Listen, if you weren't vaccinated, you couldn't eat in the same lunchroom as everybody else. You couldn't be in the building the same time as everybody else. You had to be totally separated. Couldn't go to meetings. You could only Zoom meet. You couldn't go work out when the rest of the team was there. You literally could not be a part of the team
I'm something to look like
until you went to practice. Then you could go
Alright.
sweat everything on teammates and hit and practice, do whatever you had to do. But as soon as practice ended, you went back to segregation. It was the stupidest shit in the world. We had trackers that we had to wear, and you had to have your tracker on you at all times. If you took your tracker off, out of your pocket, put in your locker, and it sat there for a period of time, guess what? You got a FedEx envelope a couple days later in your locker. Y'all know what a FedEx envelope means?
Means you get fined.
Package fined. They literally track every movement of yours when you're at the facility.
Did you get fined?
I had somebody that went and got my tracker. Like, I didn't wear that stupid shit. And I like, take care of the equipment guys or something. Like, hey, just take my tracker every once in a while and walk around the building with that stupid shit and then put it back in my locker. I ain't wearing that stupid shit. Like, you ain't tracking me all day.
AJ, did you feel pressure being
What do
an
you
NFL
think?
player during COVID
What?
to take the vaccine?
What do you think? Reaction.
I don't know what to think of it. What do you think?
I mean, I can sit down and talk if you don't want.
Good.
Alright, switch. Hold on, lift your foot up again. Lift your feet up again. Sit back down. Put your feet up. There's a big splinter on it. I don't want you all the way up.
Yeah, I couldn't. Do you have the reaction?
Let me see the other one. Alright, now we can switch.
Different reaction out of either way. Oh, I take yours though.
Alright, well, I'm obviously anti-vax. I've had my YouTube channel struck, locked.
Ribbit.
Videos taken down. Two strikes, warned of getting my channel shut down. So I'm just going to talk about the restrictions and how stupid they are.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
Big
what he
ball
was
curve.
saying was that after the team practiced in the weight room, he went in and used the same stuff.
Yep.
So the theory is the people who got vaccinated are not going to give him the disease, and then they'll bring in a sanitary team after he trains, and they'll spray down the gym so that the vaccinated people can come back in. So first of all, if the vaccine worked,
Yeah, you wonder why.
and they say, you can't transmit it, so we don't have to clean them. We don't have to clean the machines after the vaccinated people use it
Yep.
because
Yep.
It works.
I agree.
Okay, so it's just apparently to stop transmission. So you can still get COVID with the vaccine, but you won't give COVID.
Okay.
So a lot of the people said that if you don't get vaccinated, then you're a threat to give COVID to people. So that's why we got to lock you up. Me personally, to relate to this story, I was working at the gym
Yeah.
the whole time. My coach was considered a essential worker.
Yep.
Because he's military. So he's a combatives instructor for the military. So all the military guys came and trained, and I put contractor garbage bags up on the windows so that nobody could see, that we were training because the gyms were supposed to be locked down. And we trained the whole time, during the whole lockdown. None of the military guys, they were all vaccinated. None of them cared about me not being vaccinated. They weren't like, oh, we can't train with you. You got to come in after and train, and then we're going to sanitize the gym so that we can train again. So they weren't scared about getting COVID.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the one guy I know who got vaccinated, he got COVID several times. At least 3 that I know of. So it didn't work for protecting him against COVID. But I guess we figured out that that's not what the vaccine was for anyway.
Full agreement. Full agreement. What you said. Full agreement.
Yeah, I'm against all vaccines. Just the whole idea of injecting germs in to protect against the germ. So you just completely bypass your skin, the healthy bacteria that covers you and protects you, and you just inject it straight into the bloodstream. They don't allow natural immunity, and a lot of studies have come out after about the efficacy, meaning that natural immunity does work better. I don't think I'm against CDC guidelines by saying that natural immunity people have less COVID outbreaks, less symptoms, and none of the side effects that the vaccinated people got. So, I just worry about you, Sir Doyle, because I don't want people to vaccinate you. I don't want people to give you drugs. I don't want people to give you junk food. You're a little pushy with your religion, but I can understand why, out of love, that you would want somebody that is in your life to get the same benefits that you do. Hopefully, the 2 to 5 year window that they gave people who got vaccinated passes you by, and we got you for a longer period of time.
Well, I'm not on any injections except for the testosterone.
You did get the COVID vax.
Yeah, but
your
that
mom
was
made
once.
you get it.
That was once. Yeah, my
Your
mom
made you get it.
my mom made me get it.
And then I told you don't get the booster.
I don't think I got the booster. I got one booster. Then they wanted me to take a second booster, and I wouldn't do it. I had a shot and a booster, and then after that, no, I didn't have a booster. I had 2 shots. 2 shots of the not the Pfizer, but I forgot what they call it. And then I didn't have a booster. I don't think I had a booster. I'm pretty sure I didn't have a booster. I can't say it for sure, but I can't. I believe that I didn't have a booster. I think I had 2 shots, and then I stopped getting them after that. I could have had a booster. I don't remember. I don't know if I remember correctly whether I got the booster.
Well, as your healthcare proxy, I feel like I failed you, because I never was able to protect you from fucking Pilgrim, from the vaccinations. I do hope that you don't get the
no more shots.
Cardiac.
No more.
My brother got to get vaccinated, and he had a cardiac incident. What they would call a cardiac incident. He's alive.
Okay.
But.
Well, I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack from taking Depakote. They gave me Depakote gave me a heart attack. They kept on giving me in drinking Depakine over and over again, and I had a heart attack after that.
Anyway, I fully support anybody who bucks the system, who doesn't do things just because they're told to. They got a head on their shoulders. I wonder how many concussions he's had playing football. You know, he can't be that smart, but I could see why, you know, the money would make him do that. Maybe he has a family to provide for.
Yeah.
Certainly better than
Yeah.
I did.
But
But I'm still pursuing a career in martial arts, plus natural healing. But the martial arts is getting harder and harder, you know. I gotta be very careful with my body. And who knows what's gonna happen.
you might find out that you don't want to do martial arts. You might find out you just want to have the workout, or you would just want to work out.
Well,
your
I tell
body
you what, I
shape.
feel it's my responsibility to fight for the people who don't know about non-head contact sparring. If they did, maybe they could save them.
What if you taught people not to fight at all, to learn the arts, not to use it, like do all the moves like they say, which is I believe in, but not use it, not use it on
Similar
anybody.
to what I'm doing. Now, I'm gonna go get another apple for me,
Okay.
and then I'll give you one more quick video. Do that, and then when I come down, we'll do the
All right.
letter.
Oh, here we go. I like it. I like it. I really like it. Professional cross lock. That's it.
You can fight in lacrosse like you can in hockey?
No, you're not allowed.
Who's this? Fighting, the referee's not doing shit.
They wait till they go to the ground.
No, they're fighting.
I know, but they can't get it in because they'll get punched. They wait till it goes.
Oh! Yeah, but that was one and done. But they let them fight.
Yeah, they're okay. Same as usually hockey. They let them go out on the ground.
Yeah, that's what I asked. Is it like hockey? Where they let them fight?
Yeah.
Well, I want to make a shout out to Joe Rogan.
What's wrong?
I'll make a shout out to Joe Rogan. Can I?
Hold on.
Not a shout out, a call out. A call out to Joe Rogan.
Hold on.
Oh, he's getting out of shape. He's not in the shape he used to be in. Better shape than me, though. Right now, anyway. I'm going to be in a lot better shape than that.
Go.
Joe Rogan, this is a call out. You made comments about my co-host on your show, which means you are watching Hospital Gate. If you made a comment about my co-host, it means you were watching two things: Hospital Gate and Red Owl, both of them, which means you are watching Hospital Gate. Now, Joe, what's your problem with promoting us? What's your problem with promoting us? You know, all you have to do is mention Hospital Gate on your show and show a few clips, and we're everywhere. Why I'm calling you out? I'm calling you out because I know that you know that we're your competition. We're Donald Trump's competition. That's why he didn't mention us. All these people that know about us and watch us every day and keep silent are the ones that we're their competition. Joe Rogan, give us a shout out. Call my bluff. Put some clips of us on your show. But then again, you know that if you did that, we'd be everywhere. And we'd outdo you. And we'd outdo Donald Trump. And maybe even, what's his name? Elon Musk. You won't mention us on our, you watch our show. I know you watch our shows. You made comments about my co-host. So you do watch Hospital Gate. But you're not going to give us any play, are you? You're not going to give us any play. Because if you gave us any play, mentioned us, showed clips of us, then you know we'd be everywhere. and the competition would be too fierce, and we'd beat you all out, wouldn't we? Hospital Gate would beat you all out. So how about this? Joe Rogan? How about a challenge from Hospital Gate to the Joe Rogan Show to Elon Musk to Donald John Trump? A challenge. You think you're so much better than us? Prove it. Give us airplay. Give us airplay. Put us out there. And mention us. Promote us. You think we're going to get nowhere. Guaranteed. We'll be the biggest competition you ever had. And we blow you all away. And Hospital Gate will find you. Now, I want you to hear from my co-host. We're tag teaming you.
I wonder if that was recent that he was talking about me.
You mentioned it. You mentioned it. I don't know if you remember, but you mentioned it. It was not recent. It was right when we started to blow up, when the channel started to get a lot of hits, a lot of subscribers. And I know he was watching because that was the time when we had the most listeners, and he said that.
Well, I'm not going to do a call out to you, Joe Rogan. You know why? Because I know you're not going to answer. Joe Rogan, he represents something so big. They don't want to give us any airplay.
Because they don't want us to get bigger.
Are you going to let me speak?
Go ahead.
I already gave you your moment.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Joe Rogan is going to pretend like I don't exist because he represents big MMA and big test. And I represent natural healing and no head contact, mixed martial arts sparring for action instead of damage, and a user-generated point scoring system that is the most accurate, futuristic, and mathematical way to score a fight. And it is sparring. And I did call Joe Rogan out.
Yeah!
15 years ago. On my video called Deal with a Bully.
Yeah!
And the whole system came down on me. The whole system had to come down on me, Joe. Because if you and me ever got in a cage or on the mat and fought each other in my League of Champions Forks Points system. Hey, we don't even have to do MMA. Maybe you get claustrophobic with the headgear on. You got all these guys doing MMA sparring with shin pads and boxing gloves and a mouthpiece. Lucky if they even got a cup on. You search up Master Lukey's League of Champions on YouTube and look at the playlist of the last 10 years of sparring I've been doing with this. Impossible for me to find somebody at your level because they're all protected by the fight to the finish mentality. So you never have to spar against somebody like me. Because you are you're jacked up on juice. You are, Joe Rogan. You're all jacked up on juice. And you probably won't even be a good sparring partner because as soon as I tag you, you're going to get all mad and try to spinning back kick me into retirement. I can taste the pesticides on this, even though I peeled it. We got a lot in common, Joe. I appreciate the farmers. And guess what? I appreciate the people I fight against. Because martial arts is a yin and a yang. And if you think your belt from Eddie Bravo is going to save you, I refer you to a man named Horion, who said the belt only covers 2 inches of your ass. And I'm going to get the rest of it, Joe. I'm going to get that ass. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to come to Texas and I'm going to challenge you to spar with me in no head contact. But this is not that time. Because I have to do my own natural healing. Because I'm not doing juice. And I got a lot of injuries myself. I know you're not in a spring chicken anymore. And you train like Sir Doyle was trying to tell me. Oh, just train for the exercise, not the MMA. But maybe you know a little something, Joe Rogan, about the fire inside that drives you to train and to be a better man. Why don't you get good at MMA sparring? And here's the real reason why this isn't a call out. Because you take your paycheck from the very people who are promoting head contact and severe brain injury. Not just a mild one that I got from the repetitive subconcussive impact. You're going to stand by and watch people get injured like that? Slap fighting, bare knuckle fighting, ground and pound with elbows, getting their brains bludgeoned into the mat? Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful art. Watching somebody's head get pummeled into a puddle of gush. Oh, everybody knows what they're getting into when they do MMA. They know what they're getting themselves into. It's their choice. It's not our responsibility to tell them there's a better way. Is it?
Can't ignore this guy anymore, Joe Rogan. I made it so you can't avoid him no more. You can't avoid him no more.
Is it your responsibility or not? How about Bushido? How about Samurai?
You can't avoid this guy any
The
longer.
attendant to the Lord.
You can't avoid this guy any longer.
I'm talking, bro. You're not even on camera.
Oh, all right.
The attendant to the Lord. The Lord of all. Who animates us. Connects us. Through the ether. We called him Great Spirit. Oh, maybe it's not a him. Wakantanka. This is America, Joe Rogan. Put your money up. Put your money up, Joe Rogan. And you watching at home, if you got crypto, or you're an angel investor, put your money up and stop letting people get killed for entertainment. And if you don't think that's what's happening, ask Rose Gracie. Shout out to Rose. She's got a foundation that helps people with brain injury from fighting.
Wow, who's that? Rose Gracie, your name is?
Rose Gracie, her family started the UFC.
Really?
So she's not all the way there with Master Lukey's league. She's trying to work with the existing amateur MMA.
Yeah.
And she said, why don't you send me over your rules? And I sent it to her.
Wow.
And she said, oh, the guy's on vacation.
Oh,
The guy's on
bullshitting,
vacation.
Yeah. She's
He'll
bullshitting.
be back after the holidays. I didn't say that. Hit me up, Rose.
Hit him up, Rose!
You got anything else you want to say?
You know, say a few more things.
What about the letter?
Yeah, there's a couple more things in the letter. Some people call me this man's hype man. I'm his hype man. I said all those things to hype him up so you not only pay attention to our channel, but maybe if you're bad enough, like you think you are, because even non-head contact, it does, you do feel it. You do feel it. And you don't think you're going to feel this guy's punches? Joe.
No, that's not what it's about.
No, but saying this to me, he might be a little nervous that you might hit hard. He's gonna hit hard.
He's a heavyweight, bro. I'm a lightweight.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't want to be embarrassed by a lightweight. Yeah, is that it, Joe? You don't want to be embarrassed. Let me tell you something, Mr. Rogan. I supported the president too. But you know what? I know things about that former and future president that other people don't know. Yes, he was innocent of all the crimes they trialed him for. But he was not innocent. I was doing a sting operation on Barack Obama, Andrew Cuomo, and all those people in the healthcare system. They were messing with young girls in the healthcare system. I went back to finish the job, and I was working. I was having President Donald John Trump, then president, helping me. And at first, he was there every time I almost, my life was in danger. He was there. He was there every time I'd be nailing somebody. But let me tell you something. Orthodox Jew named Dr. Robert Barris, an Orthodox Jew, was involved in the child trafficking.
This again, Sir Doyle?
No, I wasn't out there. He was involved in
it several times, bro. You got this on video a lot.
Was involved in. What'd you turn that off for?
Your phone died.
No, the
Move the mouse. Just swirl the mouse around.
was involved in the child trafficking. And heavily involved. He had made an attempt on my life too with an injection. So I had him assaulted the police officer and even had him for attempted murder. Do you know that I put this guy in a special position that if he testified against the bad guys, that he would go free. Now Donald Trump, all he saw was this man that didn't want to testify or do anything right. All he wanted Donald Trump to throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. He saw this guy was an Orthodox Jew. Let me tell you something. Being an Orthodox Jew does not give you a pass to mess with children. It does not give you a pass to mess with children.
Same story, bro.
He takes his little child, puts it in front of the Jewish congregation, and he says, "You have to be these little children make it kingdom of heaven. Woe to he cause one of these little stumble for the sin, but have a noose strapped on his neck, but he not have been born." And that means also for abortion. Donald Trump compromised on abortion. He wants the states to vote whether it's okay to murder a child. And that's what it is. It's murder. It's first-degree murder.
I'm muting him, guys. Sorry. You can talk on your channel about that.
It's first-degree murder. First-degree murder. There's no other way of looking at it. It is first-degree murder. So if I told you, well, I want to go right to shoot people on the street, or she'd kill children on the street. And I want it to be voted by the states. That wouldn't be okay, would it? No, it wouldn't. Well, it's worse to mess with a child in the womb. It's worse. You're messing with a child. An unborn child, still a child. All right, now let's get the let's send that what do you call it out?
You done?
Yeah.
I'll be right down.
You were saying the same things over and over again too. Oh, but it's okay for you to repeat yourself. It's okay you have the same message in each video. I can't, but you can.
I can't have you talking about abortion on my channel. That's all. Alright, somebody said you don't have to cook shiitake. So I'm gonna see if I can slice it super thin.
I just tell you this, Donald, Mr. Trump. Melania believes in pro-choice. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that means, Mr. Trump? Your wife, Melania, is a murderer, a first-degree murderer. Somebody who believes in murder in the first degree. Melania supports murder. And she even said she would do it herself, which means she's already done it. She's a murderer. I don't care what anybody says, what I'm saying. It is the truth. If you support or have an abortion, you're committing first-degree murder. And I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing for no one. And I don't care if Melania sues me. She is a first-degree murderer. She's a cold-blooded murderer. Somebody who commits first-degree murder is a cold-blooded murderer. And that's what Melania is. And you know what, Trump? The fact that you beat it around the bush and didn't put the federal ban on abortion, you're a murderer too. And you know, I'm not even going to begin to say what a murderer that Obama is. He's the biggest murderer there was. That guy, the guy, things I know about children in him.
I had to mute because Sir Doyle got his first channel taken down, and I can't risk that.
Because they I couldn't prove what I was saying. I know abortion's murder. Everybody knows it is. They don't want to.
Do not reflect the views of this channel.
But you're ripping a fetus out of a womb and you're stabbing it? That's not murder? You're ripping the fetus out of the room and then you're stabbing it? That's murder. We all want those fetuses, guys. We all want those fetuses.
Channel, called, I don't remember what it was. We had a channel that we had maybe 1,000 subscribers on. And we got it just to read it. Shout out to Mary Corcoran.
What?
I said shout out to Mary Corcoran, if I'm saying that right. She reminded me, or told me that shiitake mushrooms can be eaten without being cooked. She's like a strict raw Buddhist.
There's nothing spiritual about abortion. Nothing spiritual about it. So against God, it's not even funny. Nothing spiritual about abortion. Nothing spiritual about it at all. It's first degree murder. It's first degree murder. If I go around finding 12-year-olds and saying the population was too big, and I shot every 12-year-old out there, I'd be considered a murderer.
Who are you arguing with?
But then again, people could rip children out of a womb and stab it.
Who are you arguing with, bro? I'm just asking.
Reality is it's murder.
Is there somebody in your chat that you're talking to?
No.
I mean, is there somebody watching you?
Yeah, the people are watching.
How many people you got watching right now?
I don't know, but they're watching.
Check the thing.
Got 11. People see, it's common sense. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that abortion is murder. As a matter of fact, if you don't understand it's murder, it means you're profoundly retarded. Only a profoundly retarded person would try to rationalize and say that abortion wasn't murder. Because that's the type of person it would take to, yes, you have the concept, they can't concept the reason that abortion's murder. A profoundly retarded person believe that even abortion might not be murder. That's a profoundly retarded person.
Do me a favor, because I don't want you muting my stream. Can you take your phone and go into the second floor apartment? You know where we do the sauna and stuff? Hello?
I'm done.
The next one is going to be $1.50 bus fare and a kick out the door. Because I don't want to keep my mute on stream the whole night. My stream on mute. Who's ready for the big reveal? Tracks. How's TikTok going black? It's just gonna disappear.
got red around my neck and on the picture video. I don't know why.
They're not looking at that.
What?
They're not looking at that. They're looking at what you can see on your phone.
Really?
Not the big reveal. It's a busting number. That's not good.
Anyway, Joe Rogan, I challenge you to get our show, to put clips of our show on your show, and to mention us. Guarantee you we'll become more popular than you. Guaranteed, you do that, we'll become more popular than you. We'll not only go viral, we'll be way more popular than you, or Donald Trump, or anybody else. You know I'm mentioning them. You put clips of our show on your show and mention us, we're going to be more popular than you. Because we got better personality than you. The only thing you have is you're out there already. You get us out there, you won't be able to compete with us.
All right, push seat at the beginning then. I love how his face is just so disgusted.
I know. I noticed that. He gets so old, too. Didn't he get old?
He's like,
He got old,
what
too.
the hell? He's going, what the hell? I'm eating my pumpkin seed.
Can I some of
Bread.
that? Can I some of that?
They're called Dino Tracks.
Thank you.
I'm not going to hear back from Joe Rogan. They like to marginalize me so they can pretend I don't exist. Because the truth is too upsetting to the little circle jerk. And this is the type of stuff that gets you killed, Sir Doyle.
Yep.
But you and I made an agreement.
Yep.
Omerta.
We're probably going to make it anyway. We'll live anyway.
It's worth fighting for.
If we die, we die, but we're going to live anyway.
Because the fight is the worth. The work is the work. You see, it's not about winning and losing. It's about working hard and achieving. That's the metaphor. And I would have expected you, coming from a traditional background, to understand that. But it must be so easy to get wrapped up in a hullabaloo of the show that you think that the people in charge know what the hell they're talking about. How about this one, Joe Rogan? Because I was in the cage too, buddy. Anything could happen in a fight. Just because I didn't win doesn't mean that my strategy wasn't correct. My preparation wasn't correct. The method to my madness wasn't correct. Because I fought some big, tough guys. And I'm not afraid of it. Now I lost my train of thought. Hold on. Don't say anything, Sir Doyle. Oh, yeah. 2008. I got my national MMA ID card. Come on. Be careful, don't bump into that. National MMA ID. No, it's a regulated sport now. Let's get a national organization to watch over everything. Oh, wait a second. There's a watermark on my ID card for MMA. What's the watermark say? Joe, you might know this. USA Boxing. That's why they wear gloves and then proceed to use their knees, feet, and elbows for striking surfaces. What's the gloves for, buddy? Come on, you're a smart guy. Have me on the show. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about the science of fighting. I think it would be a great conversation. Talk about it. Talk about the science of fighting. Let's talk about how when you kill one of two people, now you only have one left. So what's better for MMA? Guys killing each other or guys sparring? What's better for the brand? Guys that can come back every week and the fans recognize and appreciate and buy their merch? Or guys that you only get to see once in a while and the fans build up resentment for ducking fights? WWE model. Master Lukey's League of Champions is the best of both worlds. And I'm not afraid to put the idea out there because this is all intellectual property on YouTube since 2014. 10 years I've been at this game, bro. I'm not scared to fight. I am scared of dying, though, without fulfilling my mission. And I know that a guy like you would break my neck, literally. Again. Third time, that would be. But the samurai lives like he's already dead. Bro, you're going to hit that bookshelf. Stop leaning back. Push forward. You're right there. Come on, Joe. You got kids. You want your daughter to learn jiu-jitsu and get her knees ripped out? Get bone spurs in her neck? Oh, it's good for self-defense. Yeah, it is. Guess what? I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 2006. Yeah, I'm not a great grappler. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be a grappler. I know what it's like to be a bad grappler. I know what it's like to be at a disadvantage and use jiu-jitsu to protect yourself. Isn't that what self-defense is? There is a meeting place where you can practice jiu-jitsu without killing each other. That's called power hold. In Master Lukey's League of Champions, I don't call it jiu-jitsu. I don't call it grappling. I call it power hold grappling. It's not submission only. It's not IBJJF. It is a, just like my MMA version, scientific, most scientific way to score. And it's just like we're at the gym watching Eddie Bravo teach the lesson, and then we spar after class in jiu-jitsu. You're not going to break my neck. Please. I know you can. You're a big gorilla who eats flesh and does juice. And in a real fight, you would kill me, literally. But that's not what I do. I do the sport of mixed martial arts. It's a sport. The way I do it is a real sport. Not the fake sport like slap fighting or bare knuckle or boxing or MMA, which is not safe for anyone. Kids, adults, or old people. So if you care about your kids, if you care about anything, anybody watching, be my angel. Joe Rogan, be my huckleberry. You big man, you. You big bear. You want to wrestle? Or you want to fight me? You want to get on the ground with me? Or do you want to show me how good your kicks are? Come on, Joe. Let's have a challenge. Who could do better combos on the bag? I challenge you. You watching? You're a mixed martial artist? You're a kickboxer? Show me your best stuff. Red Owl Network. Click and find out. Alright, you want to do the thing now?
I just want to say a couple of things here.
Oh my God, he's still going.
Joe Rogan. Again, I challenge you. Put clips of our show on your show. And mention us on your show. We got better content than you. We got better content than you. As far as what he said about fighting, about religion, everything, about music. We got the content that you're afraid will be more popular than your show. We've even got lists 2 times wanting to be on our show. Joe Rogan, put clips of our show on your show. And mention us. I challenge you that you do this, you won't be able to compete with us. It's the only reason why you won't do it. But I challenge you. All right.
I'll put him down.
Hey, you know what? I don't know much about the fighting world. I know a lot about the fighting world. I watch it. I was a spectator. You know, and I did a little bit of it. But you popping shots at Lukey like you did, I think it was a half a year ago. You know, you didn't have any nice to say. But you know what? Bad publicity is better than no publicity at all. That's why we challenge you. You can even say bad things about us. Put clips out there. Say we're a couple of clowns. We'll still get more popular than you. All right.
I'm going.
And if you want to place a wager on this, Joe Rogan, we'll place a wager.
What?
That's right. He wants to place a wager.
You're trying to get my butt kicked? Let me show that one more
No,
time.
I'm talking about a wager that our show gets more popular than him. And when our show does, that he's afraid of our show becoming more popular than him.
Up the bookshelf behind you.
And I said I challenge him.
All right, last thing,
Then
Joe.
I said if he wants to place a wager on it, we'll place a wager.
Last thing, Joe. Because I do respect you as a martial artist. I'm not phony. I'm not like Conor McGregor, just trying to get rich and bail out and sell my people down the river with that garbage. You know what I'm talking about. The improper behavior and things that he's selling. I'm not cool with that. I'm all natural. But hey, you do your thing, Joe. You think it works for you? Cool. Have me on the show, man. Let's talk about it. And this was the last thing I wanted to mention. Get me one of those big doobies that you gave Elon. I want to get a meme. Me and you, man. Come on. I know you love MMA. Let's talk about it. Ready? For the letter? I gotta get my glasses, actually. What do you think about the dino tracks? Don't fluff my feathers. Just tell me the real deal.
Awesome.
Scale of 1 to 10.
A little sour, but it's good. A little sour, but it does taste good.
Sour meaning fermented.
Yeah,
It's got sauerkraut in it.
it's good though.
What's wrong with portobellos? Supposedly they're mildly toxic. Supposedly the portobellos and the button mushrooms and the baby bellows are mildly toxic.